morning, all of you. My name is Dr. Veena Bharti. I am assistant professor at AKGC in IT department. Today, I am going to discuss about the topic Windows in the subject computer HCI, that is Human Computer Interface, and its code is KCS 058. So let's start. So this is the course outline. First is the types of window. Second, select the proper device based control, and third is the pointer guidelines. Basically, in this course we have to discuss about the user interface. That means how the user is going to design, or a programmer is going to design an interface for a user. So types of window which he wants to use, and the select the proper device based control means the device which he is going to use, and the pointer guideline. So here first is the types of windows. Okay, so types of windows, basically first one is primary window and secondary window. So we will discuss about the types of window we are using for a user interface. So primary window basically is used, that means it should represent an independent function or application. Okay. Second, it is used to present constantly used window component and control. So basically, primary window means the window in which the user is doing his work. Okay, so that is your primary window. Then user used for presenting information that is continually updated. Okay, so this is also one of the point for primary window. Then often called main window or application window, that is the primary window act as a main window in which user is currently running his program or doing his work. Okay, so do not divide independent function into two or more primary window, because it will generate some complexity in windows. Then second is secondary windows. Secondary window means a dependent secondary. So basically it can only be displayed from a command on interface of its primary window, means it is controlled by the primary window. And second is independent secondary. So here there are basically two windows for secondary windows. First is your dependent secondary and second is independent secondary. Dependent secondary means the window which is basically controlled by its primary window. So that is called dependent window, secondary window. And the independent secondary window, that means that can be opened independently of a primary window. That means there is, there is no relation between a primary and secondary window. That means that is called independent secondary window. Then Microsoft Windows possess several type of secondary windows called, first is dialog box. If we say that this is our screen, okay, and this is called primary window, then secondary window means if there is a dialog box appear in that window, so that acts as a secondary window. Okay, so it may be your dialog box, it may be property sheet, property inspector, message box, palette window, pop-up window. Okay, so these are the basic types of secondary windows that appears in primary window if it acts as a dependent secondary window. Okay, so these are the secondary windows. Then types of window, this is secondary window. So here if this one acts as our primary window, then this acts as a secondary window. Okay, this acts as a secondary window, and it is basically your message box that is showing the message related to this. So here press this button to add a new contact. Here there is a hyperlink. That means after clicking this, we have seen this window. So this is basically the message box that appear when you touch on this contact. Okay, so next is model window and model-less window. Okay, we have talked about our primary window and secondary window third one is your modal window. Modal window, that means will not permit interaction with another window until current dialogue is completed. Okay, so that is your modal window. Then it remain displayed until the appropriate action is taken, after which it is removed. So this modal window acts as a window in which the if you have not taken an action, or if you have not pressed any action button, then that window will remain same as it is. Okay, and modal dialog box typically request critical information or actions. So the action which may be your modal dialog box, that may be critical information or action that can be taken on that window. Then modal-less window. Modal-less window means switching between the box and its associated is permitted. So here switching is permitted. In this case, switching is not permitted. Okay, in this case, that is modal-less window. The switching between window is permitted, or you say the switching between the boxes is permitted. So this is modal-less window. Then cascading and unfolding. So here cascading means you say that may be overlapping. Okay, so cascading means to provide advanced option at a lower level in complex dialog box. So here, if this is the window, if this is the printer option, then if we click on printer, then this is the cascading window that will open when we click on the printer option. So here other options are also available, and if the list of printer we have opened, so this is the list. So this means the cascading window means window, if there is any window that we have opened and we have clicked in one option, and this may contain this type of arrow, and if we click on that option, then another window will open. So this is called cascading window, means overlapping. If this window is opened and we have selected this option, then we can go to next window, and it may be possible that in this also there is another action available, that is another cascading window is available to open. That depends on the work we are going to do. Okay, so this is called cascading window, and it provide advanced option at a lower level in complex dialog. Okay, so to reduce the complexity, we are making a cascading window. Okay, so it provide a command button leading to next dialog box with. Okay, then it provide no more than 2 cascade in a given path, and it don't cover previous critical information, that is relevant information or title bar. It will directly open the other window. Okay, then unfolding to provide advanced option at same level in a complex dialog. Okay, so unfolding means another window is not open, it will directly generate the window in the same panel. So this is called unfolding, and it provide a command button with an expanding dialog box. This will show like this. So this is the example. Here it shows a command button with an expanding dialog box, and it expand to right or downward. Okay, so it will expand to here and it will expand here downward. So this is the unfolding window. Then dialog boxes. Dialog boxes basically appear when we are doing any work on any our window, and if there is any message or there is any information that system wants to provide, then that will shown as a dialog box. So basically this dialog box is used for presenting brief message. Brief message means short message. To show the short message, we are basically use dialog box. That means not whole window is open, only a small window or a small dialog box will appear that will show the request, or we say the system wants to generate any box. So for that, dialog box is basically used, and it is used for requesting specific temporary action. It is used for performing action that take a short time to complete, or are not frequently changed. Okay, and it can usually be those that do not occur frequently. Command button to include OK, cancel and other necessary. Means in dialog box, if this is created as dialog box, then in which there is a OK button and a cancel button, so that we can perform the action according to our need. So this is the dialog box. Here if we have gone to the open, so this will open this type of dialog box, or if we press a control F in our windows, then this type of window will appear. Okay, so this is also act as a dialog box in which there are options like find, replace and go to options are available, and also more buttons, that means more options are available, and a cancel button, and also there is a cross button, so we can easily cancel that window box. Okay, then property sheet or property inspector. So what is property sheet? Property sheet is basically used for presenting the complete set of property for an object. That means if we want to show the object property, or we say object attribute, then for that purpose we are using the property sheet, and it can be used to categorize and group within property pages as necessary. Command button to include are OK, cancel, apply, reset and other necessary, that depends on our usage. Okay, and for single property sheet, place the command on the sheet. Okay, so this is also one of the important point. For single property sheet, place the command on the sheet button. For tabbed property pages, place the command outside the tabbed pages. So this is the property sheet. Okay, here property appears when we press on date and time. If we want to change our date or time in a system, then for that purpose property sheet or property inspector is basically used. Okay, so when we click on that tab, then this type of date and property screen will appear, and here options, date and time, time zone, this type of screen will appear. So this shows our property sheet. Then property inspector. What is the use of property inspector? It is basically used for displaying only the most common or frequently accessed object properties. Okay, that is property inspector. Property of an object are displayed using a dynamic viewer or a browser that reflect the properties of current selection. And property value in selected object should be changed as soon as user make change in the related property control. So if this is the property inspector, and here we have shown that this is the property of our text. So here options are text font, text style, and this is bold, italic or underline. So these are the properties available. So these basically are the property inspector. Okay. Then next is the message box. Message box appear when we want to show any alert message or confirmation message or inquiry message or generic message. So basically it appears in a screen or in a window when we want to show any alert message. That means let's say if we are doing some transaction, okay, and transaction is being processed. So how we know that transaction is in process? So there is a confirmation message that your transaction has been processed, that confirm that our transaction has been completed. So that's why this type of message is generally used in a window and for creating good user interface. Okay, so message box is a client control that required interaction from user in order for the work process to continue. Okay, so that may be your alert message. Okay, Alert message, that means information to user without the possibility to roll back. That means no need to control, roll back or cancel that action. We have an alert information about that window, that which work is being in process. Okay. Then confirm. Confirm is basically used for the information to user with possibility to roll back or cancel. These are the alert, confirm, inquire and generic messages are basically the depends on the purpose that may be confirmed according to the window. Okay. So if a message require no choice to be made but only acknowledge, so that may include an OK button or optionally a help menu. Okay. And if a message requires the user to make a choice, include a command button for each option. Okay. So if we want to give the user the choice, then command button is basically used, and it has many options, whether he want to retry, whether he want to abort, or whether he want to cancel, that depends. Okay. And also it include OK and cancel button only when the user has option of continuing or stopping the action. So for that purpose, OK and cancel buttons are included in our message box. And also use yes or no button when the user must decide how to continue. Okay. So these are also the buttons available that basically depends on the requirement of user or requirement of our program. Okay. If the choices are too ambiguous, means ambiguity is there, then label the command button with the name of a specific action. For example, save and delete. So these are also options available for a button. Then this is basically your message box. So here first is here progress message box, and if you want to stop at any point, then there is a button option called stop button, and if we click on that button, then it will abort the progress or we say the program that is undergoing in progress. So we can stop this by this stop button. Okay. Then yes or no button. So here it depends upon our program that it has a 90 character or more. So if we want to switch to landscape mode now or no, so it depends on user whether he will go to yes option or he will go to no option box. Okay. Then object name, replace existing copy of my favorite action. So here yes, no and cancel buttons are there. Then palette and pop-up window. Palette window. Palette window are basically model-less secondary window that present a set of control. We have discussed earlier that what is the difference between a model and a model-less. So in model-less, there is a switching between secondary and primary window is available. So palette window is a model-less secondary window. Okay, that means you can switch between the window. So palette window or model-less secondary window that present a set of controls. Okay, palette windows are distinguished by their visual appearance, a collection of image, color or pattern. So for that purpose, we are using the palette window. Then title bar for a palette window is shorter and include only a close button. Okay. So here title bar is available and it is very shorter and a close button. Pop-up window to display our additional information. Then textual label for graphical control, context sensitive help information. Pop-up window do not contain standard secondary window components such as title bar and close button. It only shows the pop-up window. Okay. Then this is the palette and pop-up window. So here this is the example of palette window, and if we click on any of the option, this is basically used in our paint option. So here these are the palette, and if we click, then other alternate are also shown. So this is basically the palette window. Then select the proper device based control. In earlier we have shown about the types of window available. Then what are the device used to control our windows? So here device based control are often called input devices. Input devices, that may be our keyboard, that may be our mouse, that may be the microphone, or any other thing, that may be our voice. Okay, that may be image we are giving to our system. So basically input devices. So input devices are our mouse or keyboard and other options. So that act as a device, or we say device based control. On that basis we are used to control our window. Okay, so what are the characteristics of device based control? Okay, so several specific tasks are performed using graphical system. First is to point at an object on the screen. So we know that for pointing device we are basically use our mouse. Okay, to select the object or identify it as the focus of attention, to drag an object across the screen, to draw something free form of the screen on the screen, to track or follow a moving object, to orient or position an object, to enter or manipulate data and information. So for these purposes basically we are using the input devices. Okay, so these are the purpose devices, input devices, that may be our, in these case we may use our mouse or a keyboard depending upon the usage. So basically identify the characteristic and capability of device based control. Basically these are the devices or input devices available to control our window. So that may be trackball, that may be joystick, graphic tablet, light pen, touch screen, voice, mouse and keyboard. These may act as our input device. Okay, then first one is the trackball. Trackball, what is trackball? Trackball is basically used as a ball that rotates freely in all direction in its socket. Okay, so that is called trackball, and its advantages are the direct relationship between hand and pointer movement in terms of direction and speed, does not obscure vision of a screen. Okay, and does not require additional desk space. So basically for that purpose trackball is used. Okay, these are available in our laptops. And disadvantage, movement indirect, in plane, different from screen, require hand to be removed from keyboard keys and require different hand movement, may be difficult to control if user is not usually using that one trackball. So it may be difficult to control for that user. Okay, and may be fatiguing to user over extended time. Then second is our joystick. Joystick is also act as our input device and it is basically used for gaming purposes. So advantages of joystick are, it is basically, in this basically there is a direct relationship between a hand and a pointer movement in terms of direction and speed, and it does not obscure vision of screen, does not require additional desk space, and its disadvantages, movement indirect. Okay, in plane, different from screen. Second, it require hand to be removed from keyboard keys, obviously. Then require different hand movement, may be difficult to control and may be slower, inaccurate. Then graphic tablet, basically it is used, it is pressure, heat, light or horizontal surface that lie on desktop or keyboard, may be operated with finger, light pen, object like pencils. Okay, so this may be graphic tablet, that may be touch screen which we are using in our mobile phone or in our laptops. Then light pen basically your special stylus or pen that is available in today's laptop, that is also act as our input device, and these are the advantage and disadvantages. And the voice is basically for automatic speech recognition by the computer, and it has also some advantage and disadvantage. Mouse, we are using mouse in our computer. Then mouse usage guideline provide a hot zone around small or thin object that might require frequently fine mouse positioning. Double click and single click are available. Then keyboard, we already know, familiar about that one. These are the keyboard guideline. Selecting proper device based control, that depends on our usage. So provide keyboard accelerator, provide keyboard equivalents, provide the proper device control, provide keyboard for task involving providing an alternative pointing device for graphical or drawing task. So these are the basically proper device control which we are using to control our windows. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.